This next comedian is a fantastic comic and a great guy. You guys are absolutely going to love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean E. Cash, everybody. Sean E. Cash!
Hey everybody, my name is Sean E. Cash. Thank you so much for coming out. Actually, my real last name is Hernandez, pronounced Hernandez in Spanish, but I had to change it because every time I got done with the show, Kyle made me wash dishes. Good old Mexican humor there for you. Actually, it's funny, having a Mexican last name, everybody just assumes that you speak the language. Like, I'll be at a restaurant and it'll be busy, and when it's busy, they put your name on that list. Like, what name would you like to put this under? I'm like, Hernandez. There's always some Spanish-speaking show-off there like, oh, Hernandez, ¿qué pasa? Laba, laba. I'm like, I don't know, ¿qué tiempo hace? Ding, ding, Taco Bell? Like, hey, man, you don't speak no Spanish? Like, no, man, I grew up in Minnetonka. The only Spanish I speak is no. What happened to Mexican last name isn't all bad. Unless you're playing Uno with some of your friends and some of the green cards are missing. Who doesn't want that, you know? And I loved Uno and all those little games and toys. They were so simple, but they kept us entertained for hours. Not like today's toys. My kids got everything for Christmas, and all I ever hear out of them is how bored they are. I'm like, look, kid, I grew up in the 80s. You're not bored. You spend some time with the Etch-a-Sketch, okay? Wrong turn. Trying to make a circle. Spend all day in the house with the Rubik's Cube. Remember this stupid thing? I call it stupid because I can never do it. I always end up getting all mad, peeling the stickers off, putting them on the right way. Convincing myself that was more of a challenge. The real challenge came when those little stickers wouldn't stick anymore. Had to use your mom's fingernail polish, paint in the squares. But whenever my kids get bored with their toys, I don't buy them new stuff. I just make new toys out of their existing toys. Like I made a little bong for their Mr. Potato Head. And I call him Mr. Baked Potato Head. Kids are just so spoiled now compared to when I was a kid. Like, my wife will be driving in a van and they'll be messing up in the back seat, and when she's had enough, she'll be like, don't make me pull this car over and pause the DVD player. DVD player? We didn't even have booster seats when I was a kid. We were lucky to be seat belted in at all. We were so out of control we'd be up in the front seat next to our parents, remember that? We never needed seat belts because every time my mom would brake, she'd brace you. Burn you with her cigarette. Spill her box of wine. And you know, we didn't have DVD players. We were lucky if a semi would go by. That was our only form of entertainment. And my dad was so good at kicking my ass, he wouldn't even have to pull the car over. He'd be messing up in the back seat. All he'd have to do is put his hand up on that back headrest and be like, boy, I hope you're not stupid enough to hit your sister again. Of course I would be, and before I know it, he'd have a fistful of my hair, bashing my head up against the back of the front seat 2 or 3 times. All while keeping that car in a perfectly straight line. This is a different time back then, man. My dad could be kicking my ass on the front lawn with the garden hose, and the neighbors would be out, and they'd be like, would you look at that? When is that Sean boy ever going to learn? And I knew one day I'd be able to stand up here and look back on those days and laugh. Yeah, I'm still not there yet. Still not there yet. My wife and I did end up having sex before we got married, so for any of you that were at my wedding, that's why we were 15 minutes late. Yeah, an animal, we ended up doing it twice. Got a lot of single friends. One of them hasn't had sex in so long, he shaves one of his legs so that when he's in bed, he can pretend he's with a woman. Thank you. After our 3rd daughter was born, I bought some KY thinking it would spice up our sex life. My wife ended up squirting it all over the doorknob of our bedroom so I couldn't get in. My name is Sean E. Cash. Thank you guys so much.
Sean E. Cash, ladies and gentlemen.